Ah, shit. This Bottle Rocket episode has been brought to you by BRG Events.
And by our patrons. Find out more at patreon.com/BottleRocketGaming. On this episode of the podcast, Hamniso joins us to get his perspective on this week's news and to talk about if loot boxes are gambling. Also, Nacho joins us to give us the latest on the championships with League of Legends. Hey guys, welcome back to, yes, you guessed it, another episode of the BRG podcast with your host, WarpedJester, that's me, and always to my left, always so beautiful, always so very, very Canadian, Kirrok.
Thank you, everyone.
How's it going, Kay?
It's going great. Thanks, man.
Now, I'm super excited about tonight, as always, because, once again, I do love doing this, but actually, I'm actually pretty excited. Not necessarily for the news, because there is a lot of it, but it's not terribly exciting in terms of anything drastic. And unfortunately, just so you guys know, there is no Equifax news this week. Shock of shocks!
God. What are we going to do this
I know.
first week?
There is news, but I'm not going to bother with it because it's not that big a deal. But what I'm really excited about is the fact that we are totally international, worldly this time around, because right below me, without video, unfortunately, we have the prestigious and wonderful Swede, Hamniso.
Hamniso, that's me. Hello.
How you doing, Hammy?
I'm waving at you guys, even without the cam. I'm doing wonderful. How are you tonight?
I am doing spectacular. Just so you guys know, Hamniso is part of the Project Singularity group that Kirrok is a member of. And I've actually tried to corner Hamniso for literally years to come on the podcast. So so finally, it's a little bit hard, but the fact that he is literally on the opposite side of the planet from us, finding a time that works for both us and him can be difficult since we all have, lives outside of gaming. So it makes it a little bit difficult, but we have found it and we're here tonight to do it. And to that end, by God, we're going to do it right now. Hey guys, so we're going to start with the speedy bits as always, and to start us off here, we're actually going to talk about a piece of news from the El Paso Inc. regarding the Boy Scouts that are trying video games out. Now basically the quick synopsis here to give you guys kind of understanding what's happening is the Boy Scouts are venturing into video games for the first time as a means to kind of connect the kids to a social environment. So they're going to be doing this with some PS4s to start with and some social games. The one that first mentioned was a cooperative game being Rayman Legends. But they are going to mention other things. And the idea is they want some people to get them online and learn how to deal with social behaviors, since an online presence and online interaction is becoming a very relevant thing. They're also kind of hoping this is going to help with their numbers since they've been kind of waiting for a while. So this may help them out. Also, just as a little side note to that, the Boy Scouts also for the first time in history is also going to allow girls to join the Boy Scouts. So not really gaming related, but just kind of an interesting side note on that.
But I thought they were all about camping. So moving on, EA shuts down Dead Space Studios' Visceral. So EA announced that it's shutting down Visceral Games, the studio responsible for Dead Space and Battlefield Hardline. I actually played Hardline, liked it a lot. Visceral was in the middle of work for the upcoming Star Wars title, and they said that the work will be moved over to EA Worldwide Studios and EA Vancouver as so that doesn't die off. So it's pretty sad, actually. I liked some of those games, like Dead Space. I never got to play it, but I watched a few people play it, and it's pretty gory and entertaining. So sad about that whole thing. Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah. Sony Music's new publishing label is going to make the new Nintendo Switch, says Tech Radar. 26 years ago, Nintendo and Sony had a dispute, you could say, and Nintendo PlayStation never made it to the market. Today, Sony is officially publishing games to Nintendo Switch, or not today, but they will. Unties is the name of the company, and their first game will be Tiny Metal. It will come for PC, PlayStation 4, and oddly enough, the Switch. Tiny Metal is very similar to a game called Super Famicom Wars or Advance Wars for the SNES, if anyone remembers that game.
That's
Maybe
really,
it's only me.
really odd. I mean, we're talking about Sony making crap for Nintendo, but it's not
console.
the same Nintendo. It's
Yeah.
a different division. It's Sony's music division. I don't know. I'm not even going to get into it.
I think it's
know
the
who-
only thing that makes this go through. That is not the real Sony. It's the smaller brother of the,
The
two.
real
You know.
Sony.
Well,
you know what I mean.
You know what else is coming to the Switch? Doom arrives
course it is.
on the Switch in November 10th. This is reported by Engadget. So actually, the company that's porting it over, the studio, is called Panic Button. They're porting over Doom, and they're even responsible for other games that have already been heard of for the Switch, such as Rocket League, Skyrim, and Wolfenstein, which is awesome. Like lately, Nintendo's been courting developers who have traditionally turned away from their hardware, and they're attempting to distance themselves from that family-only mask that they've worn for some time now. Good on you, Nintendo. That's awesome.
I want a complete list of everything Doom can run on, because I'm pretty sure everybody's made a port of Doom that goes on everything, including my coffee maker. It's only natural she go to the Switch.
Wait. I think it's the new Doom. I don't think it's the old original.
Whatevs. In other gaming news, Cuphead sells over 1 million copies in just the first 2 weeks. And on top of that, has a whooping 98% positive review on Steam. Now, there really isn't much to say about this other than what's already in the headline. But when you look at the total number sold and the feedback community is giving, Cuphead is an undeniable smash hit. It's also still considered one of the most fucked up, frustrating, and beautiful games there is.
Yeah.
Totally agree there. Ars Technica reports that John Burton, the founder of Traveler's Tales, announced that he plans to release Director's Cut of Sonic Blast 3D, which is a fix-up for the game that will add a new feature and solve many problems from the original Genesis title called, of course, Sonic 3D Blast. He intends to fix it via downloadable friendly emulator patches, similar to ROM hacks, maybe we should say. He also states that this is, of course, something he will do on his free time, and it's not connected to Sega or anyone else.
So, wait. Just, how old is this game?
This is about 21 years old.
So this is like one of the world's oldest fucking patches for a game we've seen.
Indeed.
And it's probably going to be like 25 gigs. I'm just kidding.
Oh, good God. I don't know how to follow up on that one. Age of Empires Definitive Edition delayed till 2018. Okay, so the game was supposed to come out for the 20th anniversary of the title. However, it was announced that the game is not expected until 2018. For those of you who are Age of Empires fans, and they were eager for this title to come out, you've got a little bit longer to wait. I'll be honest with you, it's not the end of the world. It's a great series, and I'm sure it'll be worth it when it does come out. So don't get your panties in a twist. You won't make it for Christmas, but it will still be coming. They haven't canceled it yet, luckily.
I was super happy last time Kirok talked about it. I'm like, yeah, it's almost here. And just the other day after that, I saw, no. Denied. Anyhow, PUBG players unite is what I'm trying to say here. We have Rock Paper Shotgun announcing that Bluehole Studio confirmed that they are on track to have climbing ability to enter the servers maybe this month. They have the full release of PUBG before the end of the year is what they're saying, and they are teasing that while still in early access that their vaulting feature is the next addition to the game, and this is where they are placing their current focus. They do also indicate that they are working on replays, optimizations, and even a new desert map to be out by the full game release.
Yes.
Nice.
So good. So not only has PUBG been working on stuff that's new, Microsoft has as well. They've redesigned the Xbox dashboard and is now available for everyone. So go do your updates, guys. Basically, you're getting a whole new dashboard design. The redesign is on the main focus is on the Xbox homepage, and this time they're focusing on simplicity and customization. They want you to be able to get in and out of games real quick, in and out of your friends list real quick, which is pretty cool. Go What are you waiting for?
Blah,
Go.
blah, blah. Console issues.
Oh.
And here's Kirok. Come on, man. There's more to life about this than just the Xbox thing.
Forgive me. So there is also a new VR beta coming up. This is from Upload VR for Payday 2. So Payday 2, they announced that this month they're going to be opening a beta, and it's going to have the same Payday 2 that people have already been playing in a VR format. So if you have, I think it's going to be for Oculus as well as Vive when I was reading through. They're releasing daily updates between the dates of October 19 and 28th of October, basically to get that hype train going. The hype is believed to bring fans to the series into the beta for this month. I mean, and this is the other cool thing. If you already own the game, it comes as a free update to your existing game on Steam. So that's me.
I'm not a big fan of the. I've never played the game, and I tried watching with some people playing it, and it just didn't really.
I played it. I played it with
I've watched you.
Crane and so on. It's good.
Yeah,
it's not bad.
Yeah, whatevs. Hey, let's change tack here, guys. Let's talk about tech news. So this one right here is both really fucking awesome and really fucking scary. So AlphaTeam Zero, Google's DeepMind supercomputer learns 3,000 years of human knowledge in 40 days. Yes, you heard it here first. So you guys may have heard of AlphaGo from when AlphaGo beat the crap out of the best human at the game Go. And again, this is a very big deal because AlphaGo is a lot more complex than, say, chess, for example. So AlphaGo Zero is a new AI, and what's different about AlphaGo Zero is that it is a new AI that learns all by itself with no training. So with the original AlphaGo, you gave it the rules and parameters of the game, you gave it a whole bunch of sample data that it learns from and goes from there. With AlphaGo Zero, they gave this AI the instructions and the rules of the game, and that's it. And after it played by itself against itself in something phenomenal. So it was within
what was it,
3 days? 3 days.
Oh,
in 3 days, it could successfully beat the original AlphaGo that beat the best human. So 3 days into that. And in 40 days, it independently found game principles that had taken humans literally thousands of years to discover. And it's still chunking away. So I personally want to welcome our new AI overlords now. Please don't kill me.
Just imagine what it could do for games and other things as well. Other tech is pretty cool. Anyhow, talking about technology, Engadget reports that a drone has been hit by a commercial plane for the first time ever in Canada. The Sky Beach King Air 100, whoops indeed, was on approach to John Lessange, maybe something like that, an international airport in Quebec City, when it hits an unknown type of an unmanned aerial vehicle there, the small drone. Apparently the drone was flying around 1,500 feet, which is 500
well above
meters
the limit.
Above the legal limit. And there was minor damage to the plane, luckily, so it was able to land safely, but there could have been a really bad accident, seeing how these planes have these engines that are very, very sensible. In Canada, drones are not permitted to fly above 90 meters, 300 feet, and the penalty for doing such an action will be $300 or more.
Yeah, and to be clear, this was outside the no-fly area, being near an airport. He was outside that, but he went too high.
But it was way too high.
Hey guys, people who like playing with drones, more power to you, but do everybody a favor. Don't do stupid shit like this, because you're going to get all of us who do enjoy it in deep water and put a lot of restrictions on us that we don't need because you're being dumbasses, okay? So stop fucking around. Man, give me a fucking break. In other news, Apple is ordered to pay $440 million to FaceTime patent troll. And I'm going to give you a quick synopsis on this. Basically, there's a patent troll that had a bunch of patents they bought. They're not a practicing entity. They're a non-practicing entity, which is a patent troll. They're useless lawyers. And this is a weird little quirk about this. This happens all the time. But in this case, Apple has basically had a court judgment against them to pay out for patents that have already been disevaluated. What's the word I'm looking for? They're null. The patent office said these are invalidated. They're not valid patents. And yet the court still pushes through. So Apple's lawyers are going to be appealing this and fighting on, and which I will say good on Apple, because that's bullshit. Sorry.
And in other news, nope,
yes,
not me. No, that's you.
You sure?
Yeah,
you seem so kent on it. So another little quick thing on the media front, guys. Netflix, this makes me very excited. Netflix's content costs are going to balloon this next year for 2018. Basically what Netflix is doing is they're enlarging their budget for creating Netflix original content. And it's going to be up to, actually a revised number is up to $8 million dedicated to new Netflix original content, including a large portion of it to anime.
Oh.
Hot damn!
That's pretty cool. Okay.
One more.
Can I go now?
One more.
In other news, USA and Japan's giant robot battle was slow and a brilliant mess, reported by Engadget.
It was
After
wonderful.
Years of planning, the often delayed robot fight has finally taken place. Japan got the first round with a rush and driving punch. Second round was the USA. The USA brought in a new bot with more power and a grappler that managed to lock up the arm and took them out in the first round. Final rounds, the bots retooled. Japan with the paintball gun. Are you serious?
I am serious.
And USA with a chainsaw. This is awesome.
Yes.
Japan tried to blind the camera of the USA bot, but the USA was able to get in close and take the win by using the chainsaw and take out the bot from Japan. That's amazing.
Literally a chainsaw going through armor. It was awesome. It was so painfully slow, but it was the first, oh my god, genuine, real, possibly highly staged, but real giant mecha battle. Not Hollywood. Anyways, guys, that's gonna wrap up the speed bits here. We're gonna get moving on, and we'll see you in a minute.
Okay, guys.
Welcome back to another game releases with me, Kirok, for Bottle Rocket Gaming. Guys, this week we got all the heavy hitters out. I mean, they're so good, I think we're just gonna let them speak for themselves. Now, you didn't really think I was going to do that, did you? October 24th, we have Destiny 2. This time, it's out for PC. It's been out on the consoles for a little while, but now it's coming to the real shit. I know a lot of people that have just been holding off to play this game, waiting for it to come out on the PC. If you don't have it on the console, get it now. And your next game is on October 24th is Road Rage. This is coming out for PC, PS4, and Xbox One. It is a motorcycle racing brawler type game. This game looks like a lot of fun on two wheels. Basically, you're in this really gone-to-hell city called Ashen, and you're climbing the ranks in road gangs on missions with two focuses on your mind, money and speed. When I look at this game, guys, it reminds me so much of the old 1991 Road Rash. Does anyone remember that game? This looks like it's almost an exact copy of it many, many years later. And on October 27th, you have Assassin's Creed Origins. It's coming out for PC, PS4, and Xbox One. It is a historic action-adventure game. Okay, I love the Assassin's Creed franchise. I'm a sucker. I've bought them all. But guys, Ubisoft, haven't we had enough? Oh my god, kill the franchise, please. And come up with something new and leave those godforsaken microtransactions out of it. And your next game on October 27 is Super Mario Odyssey for the Switch. This is an action platformer, and guys, I know millions of people have been itching to get their little grubby hands all over this game. That's right, I know millions of people with little grubby hands. Damn it, this game's going to be amazing, and it brings a new thing that's never been seen before. Mario can possess things. Wait, Nintendo doesn't like that word, but who cares? You can possess stuff. People, NPCs, players, all kinds of different things. It's pretty cool. And you have your little friend helping you out named Cappy. Get ready to get lost. And your last game, guys, also on October 27th, is Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus. This is coming out for PC, PS4, and Xbox One. It is an action-adventure / first-person shooter. Guys, it is finally here. I played the other one. It was called Wolfenstein The New Order, and it was fantastic. You can actually go to my YouTube channel, shameless plug, and check it out. I did the whole playthrough and posted it, and everybody loved it. Yes, that's right. Guys, I can't wait for this game. In fact, it's coming out for these consoles, but eventually it's supposed to come out for the Switch. Should I wait? And that's it, guys. That is the game releases for this week. We have a huge lineup with tons of AAA titles. Enjoy these, guys. Enjoy them. I'll see you soon. Bye for now.
Bottle Rocket Gaming will be holding an open game night on October 28th at 6 p.m. Central. The event will be streamed on Twitch. BRG, friends, and total strangers are all welcome to join. Games being played will be decided in the moment. Best way to keep up with us is via the Discord. Just follow the link on screen.
All right, guys, we're going to dive into the main topic. And the main topic today is going to be all about our loot boxes gambling. Now, this is going to be an interesting conversation because there's a lot about loot boxes I want to talk about, and I do want to touch on some of it lightly. But the main focus is on the aspect of are they gambling, because there are a lot of articles regarding the potential gambling element of this. So to start us off here, we're talking about the ESRB, which is the gaming ratings board that was created to try to keep government out of rating games.
Team rating, mature rating, those
exactly.
guys,
yeah. The entity that is ESRB currently does not think that, or does not classify or see loot boxes as gambling. Now, over the past few weeks, as random loot boxes have dominated conversations surrounding all these games coming out, certain key pundits, and the masses, but definitely some key pundits like Total Biscuit, have asked the ESRB to look into and to classify this as gambling. Although it kind of seems to be a non-starter right now, which is kind of sad. Now, an ESRB spokesperson, in an email to Kotaku, which this article is from, said, and I quote, ESRB does not consider loot boxes to be gambling. While there is an element of chance in these mechanics, the player is always guaranteed to receive in-game content, even if the players unfortunately receive something that they don't want. Now, we think that it is a similar principle to collectible card games. Sometimes you open up a pack and you get a brand new holographic card that you've had your eye on for a while, but other times you'll just get, random Joe card. Interesting analogy. And, I was not on board with them until they made this analogy, and I'm having a hard time extrapolating an argument against this, because of the fact of the matter is, golly gosh, you play the game, you get a loot box, you're going to get something out of it. Kirok, what could possibly be wrong with this? How can this possibly be gambling?
No, actually, now that you read that out, I was like, yeah, that makes sense, because technically in a loot box, whether or not you get what you wanted, because you're going to be there going, oh, I want that gun, or I want that article of clothing, or whatever it is in the game that they give. And if you don't get it, you're still getting something else. So it's not gambling in the sense that if we bet on a racehorse, you would take my money and now I'm deprived of something. You get what I'm saying? If you won that. So in a way, yes, there's money there. I don't know is there real money in the loot boxes though?
Well, not technically.
In some games, yes.
In some games, yes?
Yeah, I'm sure some games is every element you can think of is probably tangible. But here's the thing. I agree with you. But
yeah.
But here's where things get a little bit of a sticky wicket, and that is the fact that when it comes to these loot boxes, you can purchase loot boxes in some cases. Right. You can get in-game currency to get additional loot boxes, or upgrade the loot box to a better loot box that has a more reliable outcome.
And then what if I still spend that money and don't get what I want? Then is it gambling?
Well, then there's you go. So this is where we get into a real sticky situation here, because first of all, you have to be able to clearly define what gambling is. And this is where it's a little shady because I'll be honest with you, I can read the definition of gambling to you, but to give it a very broad stroke, it's a game of chance.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
the example I was actually telling Kirok Hemistu before the show here was when pinball machines, good old fashioned pinball machines, were illegal because they were a game of chance or labeled as a game of chance,
Right.
and therefore illegal in most places because you can't have gambling. This was later disproven when they had a professional or pro pinballer come in and call shots and hit the shots almost every single time on the table, proving that it can be a game of skill. Now, this goes back to, when we go back to loot crates here, it's interesting because if you're just going to say, oh, gambling is a game of chance, and if you dump something into it, you get something out of it, possibly, then that's a whole different definition. So I put money into it, or I put time into it. I basically hours of play or points from a game into it. Yes, I'm always going to get something out of it. But does that make any difference? Is the fact that you might get something out of it or get nothing out of it make it different in terms of being gambling or not gambling? This is where things become a little more hazy. And I'm not the only one that's kind of in my head spinning right now or not really sure about it. 'Cause I'm not personally convinced that this is gambling or isn't gambling or how to classify it per se. As a matter of fact, the British government themselves are also not entirely on board, as a matter of fact.
Right.
The British politicians confirmed that the government's position that in-game loot boxes are not gambling. Now, for now, they have elected to leave the practice outside of the jurisdiction of the British Gambling Commission, suggesting that it would only consider items gambled outside of the game that were to have considered to be monetary value that would need to be licensed. So what they're basically saying is, we don't care what you got of the damn boxes in your game, but if you were, say, to go to, just hypothetically, some type of first-person shooter gambling website with skins and knives, then they would want to get involved. But that's just hypothetical, just saying. Even though they didn't get involved at all with that forever and a day. But, I digress. And that's an interesting point to have, because they're basically saying in-game loot crates don't matter. It's gambling with those items after the fact, which is completely unrelated to however you got those items.
Right.
It's completely separate. But to that end, Ham, when it comes to the aspect of just because you're always going to be guaranteed to get something out of the crate, does that mean it's not gambling?
Not that's not really the definition, I would say, or that's not really the case. Like, there are some different cases. Like the first time I noticed loot boxes were in a game called Team Fortress 2. They defined their game to not longer be a game you pay for. Instead, it's free to play. Yep. And if you want to, you can buy keys for your boxes that you gain by playing the game, more or less forcing you because you want that loot, And then I feel sweet like loot. That's, the sweet loot. Because you get the boxes for free. Wonderful. How do I open the box? Well, you buy the key. Oh, where do I get the key? Well, pay me $2 and you get a key. And maybe you get a weapon for it, So for me, I kind of consider it gambling because I'm not guaranteed to get a good thing from it. I'm not considered to even get a weapon from it. Maybe I get a hat. Maybe I don't care about a hat.
Hey, hats are cool, goddammit.
I know hats are what Team Fortress 2 is actually relying on today to get a revenue. But still, I'm talking about the guns. Maybe I'm looking for that special shotgun. Why can I not buy the shotgun? Well, because the company makes more money if I pay, my money for the keys and get the boxes and maybe get the shotgun I'm looking for. And this is where gambling comes into it, in my opinion.
Ham nails it on the head, straight up and simple. And you know what? You're absolutely right. And this is where you go from touch and go and kind of a meh feeling on things to straight up. I agree with you. And this is a big deal because this is exactly the ESRB wants to be really tacked down and say, well, technically it's like we open up a pack of cards and you may get that foiled card you really want to have your eye on, or you may not. Well, yeah, but as Henry's put out, that's effectively gambling, because if I want the damn card, You know when you
just
go
go
to the
and buy
gaming
it.
shop, it's gonna be laying right there under the glass counter.
Yeah.
I can just
Exactly.
pay the $10 for it, or I could spend $20 on a whole bunch of fucking packs of cards
Hoping
in the
to get it.
hopes that I happen to get
Yeah.
one.
Exactly.
So I have a question though. Like the example you just put forward, Hemnisu, with the crates, with the keys that you have to buy in Team Fortress 2 to unlock the crates, do they have more expensive keys that give you better chances? Is that something that exists? Because
There are different kinds of different tiers of crates. With higher
Okay.
tiers of crates give you different loot or a better chance to get the loot
But
that
you
you
need
want.
a more expensive key to
Yes.
open a higher tier. There you go.
Exactly. You always need different keys for the different tiers of crates. There are different games that solve this differently. Like there are some games where you get a low tier crate, and if you hold on to it and maybe pay a little bit of money, then you can transform that tier 1 crate to a tier 2 crate, and thereby increasing your chance. And there are other games that just give you the chance to pay in-game currency that you buy or not buy. I will leave that up for discussion. But the in-game currency to get your crates, So there are different ways around this. But
Different
most
approaches.
likely, in the example I put forward with Team Fortress, there are different crates, and you have to buy different keys for the different crates, and they give you either better items or a high chance to get the item that you want.
Yep.
Right.
And that's when I saw. I think it was Heroes of the Storm, whatever it was. I was playing with Cosmic and my wife, and you had this. You do so well in the game, and it builds up. You get low tier crate, better tier crate. Oh, you're just so close, but if you just dump a little extra into it, you can get another crate or upgrade that. This is the other thing that is really devious, and this is the thing that kind of kills me. A lot of these games are really the games have gone from a value add having these crates, kind of like Team Fortress was. The Team Fortress was built to be the game, but they kind of added crates in to get some additional revenue, make it a free play game. Now games have started to pivot. Now they're actually building the games around these boxes.
Exactly.
And this is where it gets really bad because, to be fair, regardless of how you classify gambling, the fact of the matter is, in every single location you look at least in the modern world, gambling is regulated. And it's regulated for a couple of reasons. One, you don't want to get shystered by somebody, i.e. having a rigged table or a stacked deck, etc.
Yeah.
But also, two, because people fall for and suffer from this kind of driving you.
Mental addiction.
Yes.
Exactly. And this is where a big issue comes into play. That kind of wipes everything else we talked about off the floor. These loot crates can be horridly addictive for people. Always pushing and driving, trying to get more, or to upgrade those crates, or to do everything they can to hopefully get a better item that they didn't get, so they have to go do it again. Hopefully, this is a big deal, and this is where I get a little bit testy because again, all these games are starting to build around it. EA, for example, responded to a lot of player feedback and a lot of negative feedback at that around the public beta they did for Battlefront 2 with their loot containers. And basically, EA was very polite in their official press release saying, rest assured we can continue to listen to your input for the beta. We're taking some, doing some additional topics and discussion to better refine it regarding the crates and the progression and all this. This is not the final game. We're going to do some more adjustments. But basically didn't say anything or commit to anything like they were going to actually change it. And this becomes a big deal because they've gotten to the point now where they push this edge with these loot boxes to the point where it's no longer something that's an added value. You push through the game, you do your due diligence to do the game, to get the level ups, to get the better gear, and the loot crates might be a nice perk to kind of help you jump ahead a little bit. Now they're getting a lot of games out there that are arguably being built around the idea that you're not going to get through this game, at least not in any reasonable amount of time without a shit ton of grinding, without buying into the loot crates. So now you got this addictive nature that you're basically forcing people to get into. You literally are just like packing them and saying, you know what? If you want to play, you got to gamble. Oh, sorry. Get loot crates. So, and this is a big deal because EA is not the only one here, too. And again,
No.
there are many different game
Ubisoft.
companies that are doing loot crates, and a lot more are defending these loot crates because, quite frankly, to be fair, it's making a money hand over fist they didn't previously have. This is a whole new revenue stream inside of games. And it's minimal effort. I mean, back in the day, you bought the game, that was it, revenue ended. Then they start doing like, well, this game can have continuing income for buying certain items. And people would buy a few items, but once the item was bought that they wanted, they were done. Now all of a sudden it's like, hey, instead of just giving the people items, as Hamisa pointed out, we'll give them the chance to get that item. And again, once you start talking about the chance to get that item, that seems to follow pretty squarely in the gambling realm.
Gambling range. Yep.
Exactly.
Now, the last little bit here I'm gonna point out is, as we all noted, especially Ham, every game is a little bit different. How they do loot crates is a little bit different. And I gotta ask, Kirok, do you think that's gonna cause issues or muddy the waters in terms of getting a clear answer or a clear regulation? Or let me back up. First of all,
Depending
should
on how
there be
they do it.
regulation? Is this something that somebody should step in on?
If it has the chance of potentially making kids, because a lot of these games are going to be played by teenagers, right? If it has a chance of giving them that habit or that addiction, the addiction is just basically a chemical thing that's going on in the brain, and your brain goes, "Oh, I just got that awesome shoulders I wanted," or whatever, or if you're in World of Warcraft or HOTS or whatever, because they use the same characters, then that basically is learning addiction, and video games tend to be targeted more to a younger age. Yeah, somebody should definitely step in. Absolutely.
So the people are going, yeah, it makes sense, and there's other people out there like, no, keep the government out of games for the love of God.
Well, I don't want the government in games either, but if they're doing this, if they're selling you the chance to get something good, then it'll hit people not only mentally addictive, but it'll hit you in the pocketbook. It could financially ruin people.
It could. I mean,
it may not be just kids. It might be adults who just can't control themselves.
There are many examples
I
out
don't
there
know any of them
people-
like that at all. Here's
there are
the
many
thing.
examples out there, if I ask may, like streaming people or recording videos and stuff like that. People have put videos from various games where they open maybe 100, maybe 1,000 crates, and they still don't get anything out of it.
Or
Jack
they
or
get-
shit.
Yeah, they get the same item from maybe 89 out of 100 boxes.
Yep.
Wow.
And they're like, well, that sucks,
Yep.
And it's really a big impact in, as we said, their financials. Maybe they are much money on the banks, but still, it's still a big dent in it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
for a chance of getting something.
to that end, actually, to kind of wrap up here, when it comes to the aspect of, again, going back to the aspect of how many different loot crates work in many different ways, it's kind of muddied waters. Does anybody here, Hamisa, I want to start with you, do you think there's really any hope of actually getting any definitive governance, whether it's through government bodies or through the ESRB, to help do some kind of regulation, whether it's kicking up the level of a game from teen to mature or anything like that, in light of this situation?
There are always loopholes. Like, whatever they do, people will always find a way around it. I think some kind of...
Fair enough.
Someone who says, these are the rules. It is required, in my opinion, but still, people will find their way around it. I don't think they will be able to stop it. I think this is something that has come here and that will, in my head, ruin a lot of games.
Damn it. No, I agree.
That is certainly potential, and that's one of the sad things too. And I'm having a really hard time extrapolating or pulling any kind of idea out of my head that could be a good example of the history of gaming where something just was doomed to kill gaming, and just not coming to me. But yeah, I'll be honest with you guys. Here's the thing: my first instinct always is just fucking be responsible. The fact of the matter is there are people who have an issue. It's an addiction issue. It's a known problem, and it makes it very difficult. But really and honestly, when it comes to the aspect, and I agree with Kirok, when you're marketing something that's an adult element like gaming or gambling to kids, that's not right. But this is where it comes into play that the parents need to be responsible
Yes.
and be involved. And I've got 4 kids, so I can speak from personal feelings on this. I'm not going to let my kids go out and play games that I think are unsuitable for them. And this is just one more thing to keep in mind. And I do battle this already in games like tanks and World of Warships, in terms of it's not letting my son go wild with spending all of his money on buying upgrades. So please be responsible. Use your head. Be logical about it, so that in the end, we're not going to have a situation where basically they allow this new standard to become a standard, where every single game has this in there, and that they allow games to pivot so heavily to a point where in order to play this game, you will have to do this gambling.
You have to show ID.
Yeah. So that's my take on it. I certainly do want to get your guys' opinions on it as well. So please, please, please leave your comments down below, because I'm always tickled when I get a response to somebody about the topic we're talking about and get their feedback on it. So I do want to hear from you guys. And let me know if I'm wrong, because, you know, I have been known to be slightly off on rare occasion. Anyways, guys, we're going to go ahead and get jamming here, and we'll see you in the next segment.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy NachoPandaa, and tonight, you guys, we're going to continue our talks for League of Legends World Championships 2017. We still got that going on, you guys. We just finished up group stages, and now we're going to knockout stage, you guys. So we're going to talk about that tonight. We're going to go through that real quick, and we're going to start right now. So let's go. October 19th through 22nd has been the knockout rounds. Those were the first and second seed teams from each group playing for basically to move to the semifinals and the finals. So we're going to start out with the first matchup that was on the 19th. Longzhu Gaming versus Samsung Galaxy. Two incredible teams that just really destroyed in groups. This was a clean sweep from Samsung Galaxy. I was impressed from every player on that team. They looked incredible. Longzhu played a really good game in game 1 as they led with they had a goal lead through 30 minutes in, but that's when the switch changed for Samsung Galaxy, and they just turned it up to the next level and blew them out of the water. And they kept that goal lead going all the way till game 3 when they swept Longzhu Gaming. Now we're gonna go to the second matchup, which is SKT versus Misfits. And if you're gonna go back and watch any VOD, watch this matchup. This was the most insane matchup I've ever seen, because everyone was just like, oh, SKT's got this, Misfits doesn't have a chance. It went to game 5, you guys. It's a best of 5 series. They took them to game 5, and they even had the lead at one point, and they won game 2, and Misfits won game 2 and game 3. This was a very, very impressive matchup, because it shows that SKT, the juggernauts of League of Legends, are human. They can be taken down, and they are not as strong as they used to be. Faker, the god of SKT, the mid laner, even stated, he was quoted, "I thought we were going home." He had the mindset that they were defeated by Misfits and Power of Evil on Misfits. That is insane, and I respect Misfits for what they've done in Worlds. They got eliminated, unfortunately, in a 3-2, but you know what? Next year, they're going to be the team to watch. And then we're going to go into matchup number 3, which is RNG versus Fnatic. And this, you guys, this hit me in the feels, because Fnatic has always been a top-tier team. They've always been incredible. They've had some of the best players come out of that team, and this was no difference. RNG just dominated, though. They beat Fnatic 3-1, but that one game that Fnatic took set just the team on fire, and they went insane from that. And it was a truly heartbreaking ending, because Reckless on Fnatic, he's the AD carry for Fnatic, was so emotionally invested into this matchup that he broke down after the series was over, and you felt for him, you know? So, you know, it was tough to watch, but it's you know, somebody has to win, and unfortunately this time Fnatic was not that winning team. Now, you guys, we still have one more matchup that has not played to this date, but we have Team WE and the last remaining hope for North America, Cloud9. Now, this is not, like I said, this game has not played, but these two teams, if you guys recall back to our first Worlds coverage of League of Legends, these two teams came out of the play-in stage, so they have been fighting tooth and nail from the beginning to try to get to this point. And the fact that they've gotten this far is incredible, you guys. They are two amazing teams that I think deserve to be where they're at. And the fact that one of them has to go home after this sucks. You guys, they have earned every part of the success they've reached. Now, obviously, I have my personal team I'm rooting for, Cloud9, represent North America, but they are not going to get this one easy because Team WE, they have some tricks hidden up their sleeves, and I think they can pull it off. So we will just have to wait and see, and we'll cover this next time, as we'll be going over more League of Legends as well. So you guys, that is our coverage so far. I hope you guys enjoy this, and we're going to end this episode on a good note. Cloud9, good luck, you guys. I can't wait to see North America represent for the next stage. But you guys, thank you so much for watching this. Seriously, you guys, knowing that you guys are enjoying this and that you're taking anything away from it makes me feel happy. You guys, make sure to subscribe to this channel, like the video, comment down below, let us know what you think about this segment and just the podcast in general. Let us know how we can improve, and so that we can make this a better experience for you guys. And also, make sure to check me out right up here on the social media. You can check me out on Twitch, mainly on Twitch, and you can check me out on Twitter, you guys. Yeah, I'm always posting stuff, making it fun. But check me out on Twitch, you guys. Let me know you're stopping by from the podcast, and we'll chat it up. We'll have all kinds of fun. You guys, thank you so much. Have a good night. We'll see you next time for the esports coverage. Peace.
Oh, sad times, sad times. It is the end of the podcast. I know, I'm brokenhearted, but look at the bright side. You got to spend a whole whooping hour with us, and more importantly, with one of the most influential and likely most beautiful Swedes you've ever met. Hamnisu.
Thank you.
My friend, it has been an absolute pleasure having you, and we are so glad we finally got you on. Don't think this is going to be the end of it. Somehow we're not going to keep harassing you later, just for the record. When you do a good job like you did tonight, we harass you even more, just so you know. Anyways, hey guys, if you've enjoyed Hamnisu here, then you're probably going to want to visit him other places. And from what I see, you do the Twitches thing.
Exactly. I am, your typical happy, cheerful Swede playing various games on the internet while talking to myself, and practicing my usage of the English language, because this is how I learn. So I'm currently doing Twitch streaming, and I currently have a few games coming up. I've been doing a little bit of PlayStation games and Myst and stuff like that in the past. And as we were spoken about before, Cuphead is about to be my new game I'll play. A dear friend of mine, maybe you know him already, named Cranky, has actually decided to gift me the game.
Oh, wow.
And,
Nice.
So I'm just about to start playing it. And by the time this is up, I most likely will have my first session, I think.
Very cool. I look forward to that. So it'll probably be like a 3-hour session for the first level?
Maybe. We will see how good I am.
I've not played the game. I've watched a few little videos of it, but I have heard the horror stories of how blissfully frustrating this game is, which makes me happy because I think games have gotten a little bit too dumbed down, to be honest. So having a game that really puts the screws to you is nothing that I'm going to scoff at.
Yeah, like I grew up with the bullet hells of NES and SNES, so I really looking forward to this game. So if you want to join me, make sure to head over to Twitch or maybe Twitter, because that's where I'm typically posting that I'm going live now. Feel free to join me.
Great way to
see
keep
the
connected
rage.
to you.
Yeah, emerge.
See if you can actually get a Swede to rage. This will be interesting. Yeah. If anything can do, it's going to be Cuphead. So if you get really frustrated in a game like that, do you hold to swearing in English or do you switch?
I think I would most likely swear in English, to be honest.
I don't know. I would if I ever happen to be watching where you streamed and you go on a tirade in anything other than English, I will clip that.
Yeah, clip that stuff, man.
Please do.
Just for the record. Anyways, guys, please make sure you head over there and check it out. I know you guys have a Twitch account. Go ahead and add Hamniso to it, because I'm sure you'll very much enjoy it. With a sultry voice like his, how can you resist? Honestly, let's just be honest here. And of course, make sure you follow him on Twitter if you have a Twitter account, so that we can keep up to when things are happening. If you don't have anything else turned on, and of course, the other person we have that loves to do content online happens to be Kirrok. And hold on, we're going to do a quick YouTube check here.
Oh no.
Nope.
I
don't see any new content.
I promised I would put stuff up, and I didn't. I have stuff ready to go. It's just I'm editing 3 more Mafia 3 epissodes. Yes.
Here's the deal, guys. Go ahead and just unsub from his YouTube account now. We're gonna do 1 unsub per day until we start seeing content.
As long as they come over and sub on my Twitch channel.
No. I mean, yes, absolutely. You should definitely go over to his Twitch channel and sub over there as well. But I figured once content starts coming out on YouTube, then you can go ahead and resub, and then make sure you also tell a friend to also sub. So we'll take away 1 per day for him not putting something up, and we'll give him 2 back once he starts putting stuff up. How about that? I'm being mean. Don't unsub from Kirrok. He's a Canadian. He's too polite. Come on. We can't do that to him. But seriously, get some fucking content up, man.
It's coming. It's coming. I promise it's coming.
Okay. I just, if I had the time, I'd put a montage in right now. If you say, yeah, it's coming soon. Because that'd be every single fucking podcast we've done since you've joined.
No, it's not true. There was a time when I had stuff going up. No, it's not.
Bullshit. Sorry, frog in my throat there. But Kirrok is very active on the Twitch, so I definitely recommend you head over there and check out what's going on Twitch. Matter of fact, Kirrok, what is going on Twitch right now?
I streamed last night. I did a couple hours.
Boy, did you?
Hard. Huh?
I said, boy, did you?
Yeah. I played Party Hard.
That's an interesting game.
You saw it. Yeah, you were there. Oh, God.
It's an interesting game.
It's an interesting game. Basically, the premise is you turn into like this crazy serial killer. You are trying to get some sleep. The neighbors are having a party. The noise is keeping you up, so you decide to go crash the party and kill everybody to get some sleep. The whole point of it, though, is to kill everybody and not get caught. So it's pretty cool. It's awesome. I really like it.
I'll give you a clue what happened to Kirrok a lot.
I got killed at the beach party. I made it through like 2 or 3 levels when I started streaming last night. And at the beach party, I just kept getting killed. So,
but you got to have a panda to do some work for you.
Yes, there was. You can do different traps that are set around, or they make it look like your kills are accidents. And one of them was this panda bear in a cage. And if you would taunt him when other people were around, he would freak out and tear them apart. So
it's an interesting game, guys. Definitely check it out. Definitely
great.
Make sure you check Kirrok out if he's playing, because if he does more of this, it'll be some entertainment to say the least. And I definitely encourage you to go over there and harass him. Also, worth noting, he does have affiliation, so you can also throw bits at him for doing a good job or sub to him. So I definitely encourage this. In other news, we do have
Party Singularity. His new emotes.
Oh yes,
you have a new emote?
I did find. Yeah, I got 3 emotes approved for subs, which is pretty cool. Thank you, Heavy, for reminding me.
Yes, definitely look at that. So now there's been more reason to go over there. Also, worth mentioning, Project Singularity, wonderful group of guys. As a matter of fact, both of you are part of this group.
Part of Project Singularity. Yes, that's correct.
So how are the guys doing?
They're all good.
any game night yet? I know it's a little early. We're actually recording earlier than usual, guys. So game night's actually tomorrow night or Saturday?
I think it's Thursdays, right?
Is it Thursdays?
It is Thursdays.
Kirrok doesn't even know anymore.
It's because I've been busy with other things
as well.
Yeah.
Anyways,
there are times when I can make it. There are times when I can't. So.
Anyways, guys, check out Project Singularity. I always tell you guys to do this, but go over the hit members. You'll see a lot of these guys have Twitch accounts or YouTube accounts. I definitely encourage you guys to check them out, because there's a lot of really good, friendly, wonderful people. Well, Rourke is also a part of the group in some manner or another. So just for the record, not everybody's friendly and wonderful. Also, Hop Along Games. You guys did get a chance to record.
We did, and I have completed editing. I think I did that last night, so I'm going to be posting shortly. I'm gonna start really honest to God. I'm gonna start throwing them all up there. My channel, I got 3 different things going up. 3. I do. So you don't believe me. Look, it's all.
I'm going by the facts I see on the screen. 2 months. I watched the first 2 episodes and go, hey, this is pretty cool shit. And then crickets.
It's coming. It's coming.
Do you say that to the ladies?
The check is in the mail.
Uh-huh. Hey guys, if you do want some reliable content to be had, then I definitely encourage that you not check out my channels because I've got shit all going on right now with them. So again, real life calls, and to be quite frank and honest with you, we got a lot of stuff coming up in the next month here. A lot of planning and whatnot. So it's gonna be even worse. So I can't really get worse than I've already gotten because I don't really do anything at all other than here. But nonetheless, I'm still doing the podcast. We're still here. If you want to know more about us, first of all, we do have a website, www.BottleRocketGaming.com. That's our official website. Not a lot goes on there, but we do have the events page, and the events page does get used, and it's worth noting that we've put a couple commercials in. You might have seen them for the BRG BYOB game night. This is a random game night where they get together and decide to play whatever in the fuck they want to play. So if you'd like to be a part of that, head over to BottleRocketGaming.com, sign up for an account, get to know the people, sign up for the event, join the event, show up at the event. Hilarity will ensue, I promise you. Also, to keep up with what's going on with us, you're here. Welcome. You've found our YouTube channel. Do us a favor. Subscribe. Be the 70th person to subscribe to our channel. We'll throw banners for you if you do it right now. Right now. Waiting for it to happen.
There it is. No?
Come on. No, I'm not seeing it. You had your chance. No banners for you, sorry. No, but seriously, subscribe, enjoy, make sure you comment. We love it very much. And if you want to see more content from BRG, make sure you head over to the BRG Twitch account, where we do have content flying through the air 5 days a week, at least, if not more, on a regular basis. We got a bunch of people who stream for us, and if we're not, then we usually end up hosting somebody else in the process. So I definitely encourage you. Check that out. So we appreciate it. And of course, as always, guys, we certainly do appreciate you stopping by. And if you want to throw a few dollars our way, we do have a Patreon account that helps us out a lot. And we would say a very big thank you. So thank you for that. Kirrok, as always, thank you for joining me. I do appreciate it. You
No problem. It's my pleasure.
Put up with it for a lot. And oh, baby, next month it's going to be all kinds of hell.
Yeah, it's going to be fun, though.
It'll be something, I'll tell you that much. And of course, again, thank you so much, Hammy. It has been an absolute pleasure having you on.
Thank you for coming, Hamnisu.
It was wonderful to finally be able to join you after all these years.
Hell yeah.
After all these years.
God, we actually had the podcast, too. All right, guys, have some good night. Peace.
Bye.
Bye-bye.